There are three more properties or IDs in the div tags that we want to try and handle in this section. And we're going to look at the main content and how we want that to be displayed, look at the footer, and as well as that new feature that we have in HTML5 called the aside box, and how do we want to handle that. So when we get back into our code, what we want to do is make sure that we have the source code selected. And again, it might be helpful if you have, say for example, this demo main selected, because we'll deal with that one first. So we have the demo main. Actually, we've already taken care of that one. Let's go to this one here, demo main content. And so you don't have to highlight it if the cursor's inside it, and we go to click a new rule. It should pop up. Look at the dialog box that we have here, and there's actually a number of things that are inside here, and the one that we want is just the demo main option. And we can leave the pound sign in there. Dreamweaver usually automatically puts that in for you. So for the demo main content, what I want to do is go to the float. So if we click on the box category, and there's the float option, and we've done this before, and you can have it float to the right or to the left. And so we're going to get this set up so it floats to the left, so it'll be on the left-hand side. And for the width, this is how you specify how wide you want it to be. I'm going to put in 70, but not 70 pixels. I'm going to change that to 70%. So it's going to be 70% the width of the browser. So we can click the OK button. We'll go to the first CSS and take a look at, zoom out so we're not scanning so much. So there it is. There's the float width, and we have it set up for the left-hand side. I'm also going to do the footer, and in this case, again, we just click on the add a new rule, and I'll just zoom into the dialog box, and it's going to be, again, an ID, and I'm going to put in the pound sign, or actually, I'll let Dreamweaver put the pound sign in here for me. I'm going to say page-footer, and I'll click the OK button, and it's going to bring in the dialog box that we're familiar with now. We'll click on the border, and what I want to do is across the top, I'm going to turn the same for all off, and so I'm going to say the style for the top, and I'm going to make sure that that is, let's go with a double, and you can play around with these. The width, we'll make it 2 pixels. And the color, again, we can go for like that dark red that we had before. And now if you notice what's going to happen here, as soon as I click the OK button, keep your eye on this, because this is your footer right here where it says created by and insert name. I click the OK button. Now all of a sudden there's a red line there. So we can zoom out, and I can save this, or actually go File, Save All. And if we open up the browser and refresh, again, watch the footer down at the bottom, and I'll refresh. Now you notice it looks quite a bit different. All right. So I'm going to put in one more div tag rule. This time I'm going to type it in. So we'll put in the pound demo hyphen aside hyphen content. And I'll open the brace, a couple of blank lines, and then close the brace. And I'm just going to put some extra blank lines in here, so hopefully this makes it a little easier for you to read. And now we can start to type it in. And the reason I'm typing it in this case is because I want to show you again how Dreamweaver helps you with the coding. So it actually gives you hints. So here I can say now background. We can set the again, zoom into this so you see a little bit better. So we can actually use the arrow keys, and I'm going to use the arrow keys to say background color, and then I can choose a color. And again, I'm going to hit the pound sign, and it brings up this dialog box, so I can choose the color I want, or I can type it in. So I can say like 6C, I think it was 9A, and F8 is the color that we had chosen before. Set the padding. And I'm just going to have the padding all the way around it at 5 pixels. We can have the float, and we'll set that to the right. because we have the content over on the left, so we'll float this to the right. The width of this, what we'll do is we'll set that to 25%. So it'll be 25% of the width. Now what I'm also going to do is put in the Mozilla border radius, and we'll set that to 5 pixels. The other one we had at 10 pixels. It's a much bigger box. And again, just to save a little bit of time, I'm going to highlight this, copy it, and we'll do the same for a WebKit. And I'll paste this information in, and of course paste the one without any framework or defining any kit. And I can save that information, and we'll zoom out. So now if I go into the browser and refresh, there you see the aside kicking up over here. And as we start to scroll, you'll notice that it isn't moving yet. Okay? That's because we haven't told the container to change its size. So this is maintaining its proper aspect ratio until we start to resize the container. So when we come back, and this should be our last tutorial in this section, what we're going to do is we're going to start to change the look of our web page depending on the size of the browser. So if this particular web page showed up on a tablet, it'll look a little bit different, and if it shows up on a phone, again, it's going to look a little different. So we'll do that next.